All right. Thank you again to everyone for joining today. My name's Colton Slater. I'm the president here at Property Panorama. I handle all of our products, marketing, tech side. And today I'm going to be introducing you guys to a brand new product that's going to be coming up and be made available to you in the coming months, probably within the next month for some of our MLSs and just kind of behind that for if we do kind of split releases. So you'll either be in the first or second rollout. But we don't have that schedule posted yet. But we wanted to get this webinar kind of out here in the wild ahead of time, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what to look forward to and what's coming. And the main feature that we're going to be talking about today is, in short, AI photo editing. And the main goal with this product was to offer our agents a safe and compliant option for editing your images and your listings. And what I mean by kind of safe and compliant is twofold. So on one hand, on the compliance side, we will be and are already actively communicating with your MLSs and following state regulations as they appear to make sure that all of the tools that we offer are compliant with your MLS, regulations. And as new ones come out, we will apply those as needed to make sure that you don't have to worry about creating an image or something that's not going to, be in compliance with your MLS rules. A good example of that is if you're in California, right now. California is the only state in the country that has anything at the state level as far as a law on enhanced images. And that's what AB 723 if you are in California. But in short, what that states is any AI enhanced photo has to be labeled as such. In CMLS, for example, they have to be labeled as digitally altered, and then they have to have a link back to the original image. So out of the gate, we're already compliant with that. That actually rule will be in place for all of our MLSs, so we will be automatically identifying them. And then there's a couple MLSs we've already spoke to that have pretty much the same rule in place with maybe just a little bit different verbiage. And I'm sure there's going to be a few edge cases across the country, but for the most part, that's the one that we're seeing be put into effect. And then on the kind of safe side of it is there's a ton of different AI tools out there. Obviously, the main ones, there's Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, obviously being kind of the biggest name recognition. It was the first one out there, and it's probably one of the easier ones to use. The problem with those is unless you are really experienced with the prompts and know exactly what to ask it, and you're also paying for their enhanced services to get images and enough, credits to use it. A lot of the times, just out of the box, those AI programs aren't going to follow real estate kind of guidelines, which means if you ask it to edit a photo of a house, there's a good chance it might add a door or a window, stairway to nowhere, things like that. With all of ours, we've done a ton of testing, kind of going back and forth with our prompts that we give you access to make sure that they are safe in the sense that they're not going to destroy that image. They're going to retain all the structural integrity of the house, unless, of course, you give it specific instructions not to do so. And that's kind of where staging comes into play, but I'll give you some examples of that shortly. So two parts to this session. First, I'm just going to give you kind of a quick rundown, but then we're actually going to go into a bit of a live demo for you. If you do have any questions while we're going through it, throw those in the chat or the Q&A section on the webinar panel, and I'll answer those kind of as we go, if they're on topic or kind of towards the end as needed. But so the way we're setting this up is we're going to give you a number of different kind of quick one-click tools. And these are the most popular edits that we see that you guys have been using for a long time, whether it's through an AI software or just having your photographers do it, or if you're paying another service. But some of those examples, of course, Twilight. So you're just a quick click away. We can do that to any image. We can also reverse those effects. So if you have a Twilight photo, whether it's real or was done by a photographer, you can actually reverse those and take it back to, middle of the day photo shoot, whatever, however you'd like to handle those. And In the same line as Twilight, as far as replacing the skies, we do just have general sky replacement. So if you're taking a photo that, you know, overcast, stormy day, a little bit dark, just doesn't give the house the best look, we can switch those out for clear skies or, whichever type of sky you're looking for. Now, I will say, as I mentioned, certain MLSs do have certain restrictions, Florida being one of them. So if you're in one of the Florida MLSs, uh, the sky replacements actually are not going to be available because of the rules in Florida regarding placement of the sun. Those could change, but if you are in Florida, just be aware that those sky replacements probably won't be available at launch until there's kind of more, I guess, kind of fleshed out guidelines on the books for that. Some of the other kind of quick popular tools. One of the big ones is grass greening. And in this example, you'll notice the boat and the trailer in the back right there. This kind of highlights another one of the options and leads us into kind of our more advanced edits, which is object removal. So here we did the grass greening and also was able to remove that boat and that trailer. So that works for outdoor shots, but of course you can use that for, clutter on interior shots as well. If you want to use, remove garbage cans, things like that, you can do so. Garage doors you can close, and I'll show you how all this works here kind of momentarily. Now, before I jump into kind of the demo, there's a couple of things I want to cover. First up is how the kind of purchasing or how using this system works. So we build it on a credit library. So in short, whenever this launches, you'll be able to access your account and you'll be able to purchase credits either individually or in discounted bundles. And the pricing on that is not finalized yet, but we are keeping that as basically as affordable as possible. You're going to be looking around 40 cents and under per photo. Basically 20 cents a credit is where we're kind of looking to stay at. And then those get cheaper if you buy bundles. You can buy up to 75 credits at a time. I think the price on that was like 29 bucks, which would, take care of multiple listings for you. And that's really just because there is a fee that we end up, having to cover with any AI generation for the server usage, so on and so forth. But as AI continues to enhance, we do expect that price to drop over time as image edits, become a little bit more commonplace. So those prices will adjust as you go. Into the future, we're always going to try to keep you as low as possible to make sure it's affordable. And that's one of the big benefits that we wanted to pass on to our members is not only giving you an AI service that you can trust, but also one that kind of makes it a no-brainer. Because if you're looking to go pay, for ChatGPT or, an enhanced version of some of those AI tools that are out there where you might be paying, 20, 30 bucks a month for those just to get image editing, and you're not getting any of the guidelines or any of the real estate specific tools. We wanted to give you something where you can do one listing at a time and not feel like you're locked into a subscription. And then the last thing before I get into that live demo is just a look a little bit forward because it lines up with AI. After our AI photo editing project rolls out, our next project coming up is going to be Revideo. And we've talked about this in the past in previous Tech Tuesdays. But to make a long story short, this is going to be a tool that allows you to create kind of mobile friendly social media targeted listing videos. And you'll be able to do that by mixing your photos with any videos you have of the house. You can kind of mix and match those, leave them in between. You can add text overlays, cover slides, closing slides, voiceovers, music, etc. And we will create a video that is ready for the modern social media platforms. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, what is it? Stories, Instagram Reels, etc. But where the AI and why I wanted to talk about this here is because there is an AI component as well. When you're doing these, when you're selecting your individual images, we will be allowing you to use our AI suite to actually turn them into individual unique video files. So here we've got 3 photos. These are all just static images taken of properties. When you run these through our AI suite, you can turn them into videos, which is what I'll show you here in a second. And I'm going to tell you in advance, the resolution on the video sample I'm going to show you, I had to lower because Zoom does not want me to upload or show a file that's that large. It really kind of slows down the Zoom window. But here's a sample of that. So that external shot, you get kind of a drone effect. Interior shots get subtle panning. On the pool, you get ripples in the water. If you're outside, you might get wind effects kind of in the leaves of the trees. And these are all designed to be short, like 3-second clips. And the reason we do that is because if you go too much further, you can imagine with that drone shot, if you allowed it another 5, 6, 7 seconds, it's going to start to get to a point where it has to invent what's behind that house. And we don't want it to do that for obvious reasons to make sure that it's compliant. Just like the AI editing on just images, this product is given specific instructions to only use the elements that are found in the photo. So it's going to play with the aspect, the viewpoints, give you that motion. It's going to make it look like a much higher end, listing presentation. Like you went out and got that photographer to do those video shots for each, room in your house or however many you want to do this for without you having to spend that extra money. And this will be built on the same credit library. There'll be a little bit more, credits required to do the videos, but it's going to be in those same bundles. So if you buy 75 credits, you can use those for either the image editing or the, image to video. But I just want to kind of give you an idea of what's coming there. That'll be out probably around a month or so behind the photo editing itself. We're about 80% of the way through development, but I didn't want to kind of go through this Tech Tuesday without giving you a look at that. So with that being said, I want to jump over to a live demo here for you. And this is on our staging server, so I'll tell you in advance if I run into any weird bugs, I apologize. But I'm just in an account here. And the way this will be accessed is when you log into your account with us, you see you have listings down here. And we're just going to click on either photos or we're going to go into our tour manager and go to photos from there. Just two different options, however you see fit. And then we'll go to add edit. And if you've been in your accounts, you're probably used to this page. This is where you can drag and drop and move your photos around. You can hide them. You can create panoramas, etc. But to make edits, the first one we're going to go to is this first photo. And I'm just going to click edit here in the top right, which is a little pencil icon. From here, we now have all of our editing tools. And I've actually already done a twilight effect on this one. So we're going to go back to the original. Now, to make use of this, I've got a few kind of quick options up at the top right where you can do manual edits. You can rotate it, you can crop it, you can adjust the tone, color, details, all these manual changes if you wanted to do so. You can add filters, you can add text if you want, do markups, and that's for like property boundaries if you wanted to draw, if you had an aerial shot. But all the AI tools are just below that. So we've got twilight, blue sky, which is just your sky replacements, grass screening, an enhance option that will actually review the image and give you suggestions. And then we just have general draw to edit. That's where if you wanted to do something specific like remove items. So for this, I'm just going to run the twilight effect and I'll leave it to, actually, we'll switch it over to purple, kind of as that base color for the sky. We can pick how many clouds we want, light, heavy, or clear sky. And we can also choose the general kind of temperature of the image as far as the color contrast. I'll leave that at warm and click apply. And this will be a little bit slower just because it is on our staging server. Whenever this runs out to our live environment when you guys will be using it, this will be much quicker, but it's still, even on here, it only takes a few seconds to use. There we go. And I hope you can't see the HDMI pop up. It just happened for me where my computer thinks I plugged in an HDMI cord. But here we go. There, so I just ran that. Let me zoom out a little bit. And you can see it added that twilight effect automatically. And if we wanted to read, oh, sorry, that was the first one. There we go. This one, I told it to do kind of a purple hue to it. It gave it that purple sky. If I click back, the standard blue, this is what you get. I already ran this one through once. Now let me jump back to a couple different images. Oh, go back there. And I'm going to go to down here, an interior shot. And I'm going to click on edit. Give me 1 second. I'm going to unplug and plug an HDMI cord back in. Okay, perfect. I hope that you can still see my screen now. There we go. Now I got rid of the alert that my computer was giving me. So here's something I did with one of these images. I've already staged this a few different times in samples, lighting a fireplace, adding a couch. You can see how I did that with these photos. I'm going to go back and we're just going to start from scratch. And for this, I'm going to use the draw to edit. So what I'm going to do here is I click on draw. I now have a few different options. I can use an arrow, I can use text, or I can just draw it with the masking tool. And I'll just do that, circle it, and I'm going to say light the fireplace, click apply, and let the AI take over and kind of do its magic for you. And then after this, I'm going to do a couple at once so you can see you can do these kind of all at once. It's going to cost you per edit about, like I said, around 2 credits. And if you can do these individually, or you can do them all at once. So I could have done just the fireplace, or I could have it add a couch, add a rug, add a photo on the wall, whatever I'd like it to do. And you can really take this as far as you want. If you want to paint the walls, you can do that. Again, that's going to start to kind of push those boundaries where, it might not meet all your regulations, but it is going to be identified as being an AI enhanced photo. So there we got that one completed. It lit the fireplace for it, and it also added kind of that lighting effect around it, so it blends it into the rest of the photo. So what I'll do now is I'm going to use the arrow tool. I'll put this right here, and I'm going to tell it to add a sectional couch and coffee table, matching the style of the room. And I can get as detailed as I want with those prompts. And one of the neat things about this is if you do stack edits, so I already lit the fireplace and I'm about to add a couch and a table, it's going to carry over the lighting effects from the original the original edit that I made. So it's going to carry over the lighting from that fireplace. Or if I had it, if I had a window in there that I changed it to, a daytime, shot, it's going to make sure everything lines up with the edits I've already made. So there we go. We added a sectional couch. We added a coffee table in there, and that's going to be style. If you wanted to get more specific and you wanted the couch to be facing the bookshelf, you could tell it to do that. Or if I come over to draw to edit again, let's say I want to add a photo frame, and we'll do it on this wall. You can see there's really no limitations here. You can go as far as you want. After this one finishes, I'm going to jump out to another photo, and I'm going to show you those sky effects on an image that is already a twilight photo that was actually taken at night. So we'll let this one wrap up, and we'll move on from there. And again, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to throw those in the chat. There's a lot of different things you can do with these. You can go, like I said, as far as you want that AI to go. And there we go. We have a photo added on the wall. And if you do zoom in on this, you'll see that it does add the subtle, shadows, and it really does give you kind of a true to life version. So you're not adding, kind of clip art images. These are going to match the theme of the room, the style of the photo, that it's editing for you. Another part of this you can see is at no point did it remove your watermark. Down here, this is a sample listing from Las Vegas. It added the rug here underneath that couch, and it kept the watermark on top of it. So again, with the compliance, we're going to keep those for you so you're not violating any rules or regulations there either. So I want to close this out. And when I am done, I can just click save at the bottom. And then I have the option, I can hide the original image. If I click that, it's not going to show the unedited photo. It's just going to show, the new one. I'm going to leave that unchecked just for compliance purposes, but I'm going to save and apply. And then when we go back to our photo list, that one's going to be right there available right after the original photo. But if I scroll down a little bit more here, we have some twilight images, and I'll pick one here. Let's go with this one. Click edit. Oh, there we go. Looks like I already did this one. I'll pick a different one just so you can see it on a live photo. Let's see which one has a good sky to use. There we go. We'll just use this one. All right, so this is a photo that I have never touched before. And you can see it was taken at night looking over the city of Las Vegas. I'm going to go to blue sky and clouds. We're going to go with heavy cloud cover and summer. And I'm just going to click apply and let that take over. And again, I've never run this one, and I've actually never tested a summer mode photo on a Vegas listing. So we'll see what it does there. Should add just some additional lighting effects for you. And also with heavy clouds. And again, all these edits take around the same amount of time as long as you're not stacking up multiple or, half a dozen different suggestions. But again, they will be faster when they are out on our live servers. So here we go. Here is the edited photo. And here is the original. And just knowing Vegas, the only part of this that is a little bit knowing Vegas is it did color the sphere black, which I can kind of imagine it would have no idea what to put on that large glowing orb in the middle of the desert. But as far as the sky, the lighting on the houses, everything matches the theme. It added that cloud cover over top and also retained kind of the mountain backdrop there. So again, we will click over to there. I will click save and apply. And that's going to show up in our photo list. Now, one last thing I want to kind of show you, and let me find a good photo to do it with. And that is the object removal. And all of these photos, here we go. We will do this one. Probably already used this for this in the past. I have. So this one have already been done, so I won't make you wait through the edits. But on this photo, I had it remove the car from this driveway, and I think I did it on the second pass. Oh, third. There we go. So I actually had to do a few different things on this photo. The first version, I had it switch it over to blue skies, and then I gave it a second request, and that is remove that car from the driveway. And it did so. Now with this, when you're doing object removals like this car, it is going to assume what is behind it. In this case, it followed the gravel that was kind of visible right behind it. But as you're doing those, if you want it to make, something specific, if you want it to keep a shrub back there or match the gravel behind it, you can do that with the arrows. You have full control there. And I'm going to jump back to a different photo because I want to show you where this can get a little bit past, compliance. So here, I'm going to click on this image here, second photo. This was the original photo, and in an edit that I did earlier today, I told it to make this photo look like the house from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And it surely did. Now, this is a listing in Las Vegas. So you can see how well it's going to do that, but you can take this as far as you want. So I always like to show this one. It will let you make something that you're probably not going to want to advertise. But when you get into the virtual staging, a lot of the times, especially with seller requests, or depending on the house you're working on, something like this is necessary. Not doing obviously snow and Christmas lights in Las Vegas, but you can see as far as you want to push it, it's going to make it match, the house. It's not going to change the structural integrity of that property. While it added snow and Christmas lights, it kept everything about that property intact. But that is essentially everything that I had to go over with you today. Again, this will be out for our first release within the month. And then our second wave of MLSs will be out probably within just a few weeks after that. We will be sending out notifications to let you guys know when it's coming. When there's about a week before launch or so. We already have some blog posts going out in advance, preparation for it. And there will be some more live webinars scheduled as well around that release, just for any of the new features that we do add in towards the end. Um, Things like just one-click fireplace lighting, stuff like that. But we'll have some live webinars to go over any of the final details, especially with the pricing and the credit system. But I don't see any questions coming through. So again, thank you guys for joining today. I look forward to getting this in the market for you, and I hope you all enjoy the AI editing suite.